With me via telephone, good buddy of mine just released his second album entitled Hineni. Whether you know him as Boruch Sholom or BSB or Blesofsky, he is here live on the air. Boruch Sholom, welcome to the show.
Yossi, how you doing?
Baruch Hashem. Hineni, man. I'm ready.
Yes, I'm ready too.
Talk to me, man. You know, you got into this music field a good few years with Yidel working on your longly awaited debut album, Bishvili. And now you it seems that you got very wise to the Jewish music industry and you hooked up with this brand new company, Platinum Productions, and you went a different route. What was the reason for that, Baruch Sholom?
Not everything has a reason. Mm-hmm. Things that just sometimes end up certain ways. First CD was very, very successful. Mm-hmm. Almost so successful, in a sense, the art was so high-end that it was hard to compete against it.
I hear.
And another 3 years was not possible to put into another album. That was just not shy. I wasn't going to do it again. People think that if you put another 3-4 years into an album, it's going to come out great. Well, it could be, but my heart and soul wasn't there. I wasn't ready to put 3-4 years into it. I don't believe in putting 3-4 years into an album. It doesn't work for me at this current point. Uh-huh. Then it was amazing, and it's Yidel shit then. That's why Yidel has such high-end albums.
Now, for those that want to know, did you run any of these songs by Yidel to get his opinion, or were they around by the first album?
Which one? On the first CD? Okay, so the second album is yes, I did. Of course, I ran songs by him, but Yidel was not involved in the production. He was busy with his father's album. Mm-hmm. He's busy with his album, and I believe he's working on an album right now with his father and his son. So he's pretty backed up. He has a lot of work to do, And
he takes his time. He doesn't rush anything. So he
doesn't rush anything. No.
It'll definitely be time. Yes.
Yeah. So in the meantime, what happened after my first album was we had jobs and we sang, and for whatever the reason is, people hate to say this. People say don't say that, but I burnt out. I got completely burnt out from the music industry. Mm-hmm. I hated the industry at one point so much because it wasn't what I was expecting it to be. I thought everything was studio sessions. I thought everything was more like I don't know. When I thought about a live concert, I thought about Hatch, the way Shia Mendelowitz would do it, mm-hmm. and I came out of this cocoon, like I was almost in this little shell, and I walk out of it, and the industry was completely different. I was like in the studio, and all of a sudden I walk out, and it's a different album. It's a different industry. Now, I was never in the industry initially to even know what the industry was like, but my expectations were very high, and I wasn't interested in involving myself in that type of industry. So I left, and I left for good. But music just doesn't leave me. It just doesn't leave me. It doesn't leave me alone. I still make up songs. Oh, and I forgot to mention, after my first album, I had what you called a writer's block, mm-hmm. which is just another way of saying you're bored of music. That's what writer's block is. What's writer's block? It means you're not interested.
I would think the creativity just isn't coming. There's nothing going on in your life to write from. No experiences.
Oh, that's a very case. So that, first of all, there's always something going on in someone's life. And yes, that's very, very good point. There's a certain form of, I guess people could call it a darkness, certain like chayshech that's there. You're unable to write. But for a musician, a person that is actively involved in music and likes music, that's a downtime. It's a downtime. And it was actually a pretty tough transition. I wrote the first songs when I was single, before I was a family man. I sat at that piano. I made 75,000 demos of each song. I worked on each song. And for me, if I was unable to do that, then I did not want to make music.
Wow.
And you want to know something? For then, I was right. Looking back, that it was a very immature approach. Mm-hmm. That's my honest. It's an immature approach. It is not a realistic approach. And if it's not realistic, it's not enjoyable. Because something that's realistic, things that are good, have to be reality. They can't be dreams. Dreams is not is fantasy. Fantasy is nothing. So this CD, what people are liking about it, Father, you could interrupt me, Yossi, because I could just talk.
No. I'm enjoying this, yes.
Oh, okay, fine, great. So this CD, what happened was I was going on Shabbos, and I was involved in business. And actually, I did pretty well in business. I was like pretty aggressive. And I was actually building up something very, very successful. But I sensed that wasn't my mission. I can't explain it. It just wasn't for me to do. And when it came to certain things to do, business, everything has its, the over the register, voice when you do, I just made the break, right? I just went right over F.
Okay.
And right over the F note, that's a different transition. You have to go into a different type of voice. And I wasn't ready to do that in business.
Mm-hmm.
And not because I was lazy, you know why? Because it wasn't for me. Because I love music. And one Shabbos, I'm thinking like this. I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I doing, Abish there? I'm serious. I was having a conversation. I'm involved in this business. I'm a musician, for God's sake. For God's sake. I'm talking to God. I'm saying for God's sake.
For Lord's sake, yes.
For Lord's sake, what am I doing, Abish? What's going on over here? Give me a song. I didn't have a chance to write. I didn't have a chance to talk. I want to have a conversation. Give me a song. And there was this idea that it wasn't, like, literally, it came in, not as I was saying it. I'm not going to be that dramatic, but it's a pretty dramatic story. I was with my daughter. I'm walking here at the show Friday night, and the first song that comes into me, and it was in a rock beat in my head, was Avro Mavro. And that was when the album began. And it was already, this is, I was thinking to myself, because I was, my great-grandfather, it's a whole story for itself. We'll talk about it later.
Right.
But bottom line is, this song came into my head. And once that song comes in, what are you going to do? What, you're just going to take it and dump it? So then there's one. Right. And then there's another song came up. And then another song. And I went to the studio. And there's a lot of stories within how I went to the studio. I went to Eon Freitor. New beginnings, just with the guys I had no clue who they were. Eon Freitor is the Benny Friedman, Mordechai Shapiro. Who else is Ari Goldwag? Who am I forgetting?
He works.
Shweki,
he works with everybody.
Producer.
Right.
He works with everybody. He works with everybody. But it's a certain type of sound, and I said, "Wow, I'm the Lashinsky sound." Mm-hmm. And I realized, Lashinsky sound. I was actually talking to Yitzi Schwartz from A-Team Orchestra, and he tells me. I told him this sound, that sound. He tells me, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? It's interesting. True. Let me switch everything up. Let me just go. Oh, because I forgot. I did go to Eli Lashinsky to start working on the album, by the way. Mm-hmm. And it's funny. Eli will hear this. Eli will like this. You know why? Because he's a real artist. A real artist can handle it. When I went into Eli's house, you know what I felt like?
What?
A sad reunion of my old album.
Interesting.
It was like a sad reunion. It was like freaking
so you didn't feel like you were going towards the future. You felt exactly the opposite.
I was going back, and everything was like about, and Ellie knew this. Ellie told me this. I didn't have to tell this. Ellie and me knew this. The chemistry wasn't right. We're coming into the studio. We spent a lot of years together making the album with Keithel, right? But Ellie Lashinsky was very much present during this whole process. So that was it. I switched up studios. I went to Eon Freitor. Eon Freitor doesn't know me through a hole in the wall. And he just tells me, Baruch, what's going on? I told him like this, Eon, I don't have time to get too deep about this. Everyone thinks you have to get deep. I have good music. I want to make an album. I want it to kick. I want it to rock. I want it to go forward. Here's what I have. I start playing him songs. And you know what Eon says? No. Eon says no. Next. That's all we did.
Wow.
Next, not this one. Oh, fine. No. Oh, you like that one, Eon? Great. Work on it. That one, beautiful. Beautiful. So we start showing him songs, and then we go into the other room. And he says, I have a couple beats to show you. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're going to show me beats now. This is like the time that the arranger bores me. He's going to bore me now. I have to listen to his music now because I came to him. Now I have to give him therapy. Mm-hmm. And I have to listen to his music. And, oh, my God, I'm like, no. Somebody turns on a beat that goes on with a bass line. The beginning of Ribon. And no, nothing. There's just a music track with bass line, a little bit of guitar. All of a sudden, it switches up in middle, and it comes quick. I told him, Eon, that first part is good. I could literally sing a song to it right now. I did that. That's just, boom. How you doing? There was a tune there. I told him the second part, it stinks. What are you doing all of a sudden? You're coming out a quick beat, like what am I? I'm a 1980s punk fan. It sounded dated to me, which is so not true. It's actually such a new sound. But,
okay.
And he tells me, take it home. Listen to it, then you'll get back to me. Whatever, why not? Okay, I'll take it home.
He's saying, don't disregard it so fast. Think about it. Develop it. Really listen to it.
He didn't even say that. He was so, Eon is very, in a sense, very sweet guy. Don't get me wrong. Warm, good man, but cold in a way, which I liked it then. I liked it. I was involved in business. Mm. I wasn't really getting old. I didn't want to get all into it. Just okay, fine, I'll take the track home. And I liked the first part. And I'm playing it on my way home from the studio, and that second part is annoying me. It's annoying. I hated the drum when it came in. Ta 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 ta. It's like, oh, come on, could you get a little more Hamish? Next morning, I'm playing the song while I'm getting my kids dressed. This is between 8:20 and 8:50, when everyone's screaming in the house.
Right.
Get downstairs, the bus coming. All that tension type of thing, which we try not to do, but it happens.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it goes to that, and I did. I said, "Ooh, that's an interesting idea. You know, I'm going to do that just for the sake of weird." So I go back to him, I show him the tune, we sing on top of it, and then I hear it. I'm like, no, this ain't weird. This is commercial. This is super duper duper commercial, and that's the story of Ribon.
Amazing. So Ribon was composed in the studio over a day or two, just as you got the beat.
Yeah, it was like this, like, I don't know. Listen, it's a gift from the Abishter. There's nothing else to say because you don't get it. I could have made a terrible album just now. This album could have been the worst CD that's ever come out in the past 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything for this thing. And musically speaking, by the way, it's like almost a cheat that I had such good songs. I can't explain. I can explain to you why it happened that way, but it's just nonsense. Because this album, I got very, very lucky with this album. I got very lucky. In the right mindset, I met the right people. I made the right decision about trying not to serve an identity that I had before, to try to do over what I did before. That would have been a terrible mistake because what you have from before is that, and what you're supposed to go on in the future is something else.
100%.
Today is today, tomorrow's tomorrow. So, yeah.
Well, I think you accomplished that very, very well. You know, when you released Ribon, I will tell you it was Cholomite Sukkos. And I was driving with Simcha Leiner to the Miami Boys Choir concert where he was performing and I was singing. And like backstage, I'm sitting there with Leiner and Yoni Z and Moshe Tischler and Uri Davidi, and they're like, "Oh, did you hear the new Boruch Sholom single? It's very, very different." And like all of a sudden, everybody stops.
Yoni Z, by the way, Yoni Z also works with Freitor.
Yeah,
everyone works with Leon. I said names before, which was a bad thing because when you say names in the Jewish music industry, I understand artists get very insulted if you don't mention.
No. But Baruch, it was funny because everyone like stopped. You know, I think Simcha hasn't heard it, so like he like plugged his earphones in. He's like, "Just don't talk to me for a few minutes. I want to hear." You know, like, I've never seen singers do that with other singers' music, like as it came out. You know, it was just like they were really curious to see what you had to do next. You know, which I didn't get to see. For me, I also love the bridge of the song. You know, because you figure the song has a low and a high. You know, it doesn't need a bridge, but the truth is, it does need a bridge.
Did it need it or it didn't need it?
I believe it did.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. And Bobby, you know where I made that part?
No. Also when putting the kids in the bus, or was that driving
No.
home?
No. I came to the studio, and so when I was supposed to do the vocals, he said, "Do you have a tune for this yet?" Because then I did the vocals like a week later or something. Mm-hmm. After I confirmed I'm going to do it, he brought Daniel Kaplar, which is a whole conversation for itself. He brings us to the studio, so Daniel says, "What do you have to do here?" I said, "I don't know, I didn't prepare." So him and Neon give each other a look. So I said, "Guys, don't worry about it. I don't need 550. You know, I don't need a composer for this thing. Just play it over 5 times. Record whatever I do, and whatever I sing will be the tune, and that's it. I'm closing chapters on this song, and that's what happened. So when it went into that real heavy rock, like that part also made me super duper nervous. But I did, "No, I'll take a say no. I'm not handling my feelings. And then Daniel stops and he says, "Can you do the flat?" Which is also a little bit of a joke, that part. But yeah, it actually sounds pretty good.
It does, and it gels very well. You know, it's a little bit of yesteryear and a lot of today. It's very, I call it fresh. You know, it's something unique.
Thank you. Baruch Hashem.
Very excited. And of course, I'm sure you saw feedback as soon as you released the single. People were going nuts. They couldn't get over, you know, how different it was and how, you know, people weren't like comparing it to your last album at all.
Yes, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem.
You know, people weren't like,
people were like, "Oh, that sounds like Lo Yamale."
Yeah, I was going to say, Lo Yamale what?
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. No comparison whatsoever.
Yeah, like, that's exactly what I didn't want. And not that I didn't want. It's not like I didn't want. It's like Lo Yamale, it's Lo Yamale. And now it's 2018. I have 3 children now. It's a different situation. What's up? Let's talk business. Actually,
yes, the kids are screaming and the bills are bouncing and the checks are bouncing. Yes,
exactly. It's a different era, man. It's a different era. I'm not 19 trying to get married.
So you got all these very cool sounding songs like Ribon and Lord and Yishoma and even Haidu. Why title the album Hineni, Boruch Sholom? Why? Was this like a marketing thing, or you're so attached to the song? Don't get me wrong. Me and my wife happen to love the song. I'm just like, what was your thought process?
Because by the end of the day, so the album is titled Hineni because Hineni is a form. First of all, I don't want to say the whole story. It's a very long story, but I'll try to say it about 20 seconds.
Okay.
My great grandfather, 1905, drafted into the Japanese-Russian War. Japanese-Russian War is when Russia had a revolution because they lost the war to Japan. So a lot of the peasants, the Kazakhs, were very upset. Tough time. Goes to the war. He doesn't want to go into the army. Plays the tuba. Comes back. He's all pumped up now. You know, he's physically trained. There's someone that assaulted his mother in the Kretschmer. His mother and father owned the Kretschmer. And is a good man, very calm, good man. My grandfather was really a good person. I'm not going to call him a tzaddik because that's just cheesy. Right. He's a very good person. And he comes home to this bar, and this guy assaulted his mother. It's serious business. Talking about Russia, Wild West, right? So he tells him, if you come back to the Kretschmer again, I will kill you. And the guy came back again. And he again attempted to assault his mother or something. He didn't elaborate on the details, thank God, because he wasn't living in 2017. Right. All the details were important. So bottom line is he killed him. The guy was outside and he killed him. Yeah, very brave of him. All the Goyim over there came to kill him. You killed this guy. Who the heck are you? You little kid. You're 20. You're 17-year-old little punk. Coming to kill somebody. You're a minority. He takes the sheriff was so impressed from his braveness that he takes out a pistol on all those non-Jews. Tells him, anybody touches this kid, I'll shoot him. He walks into the edge of town with a horse or something, tells them, get out of here. They're going to kill you. Can only protect you until here. He runs off. He goes to the Stolner Rebbe. Stolner Rebbe tells him to go to America. He has an uncle, Nussin. He thinks Nussin's going to pick him up from the port. How you doing? Take a pillow. Nussin comes. Nussin had a big long beard when the Avram knew him last. Comes over here. He's clean shaven. Well, no one had any beards in America. Nobody. Not one person. It was very weird to have a beard then, like super duper weird. Right. So he tells Avram, okay, Avram's hopefully going to take his beard off in about 2-3 days from now, right? Like, you know, an update. No. Again, my great-grandfather's a simple guy. Blesofsky didn't understand, no beard, not taking it off. Hello? Everyone's doing that. Rabbis, teachers, everybody. He's not taking it off. He's not switching what he has. Minhagim, boom, boom, bam. No jobs, nothing. So Nussin tells him, now it's Nathan. You're out of the house if you don't do this. You can't do this, Avram. You're out of the house. Goodbye. Stop to shave his beard. Go to the barber. And people say, and his father comes to him in a dream and tells him, Avram, don't cut your beard. So he didn't cut his beard. And from how he got married beats me, because the person in the family he married, you know, one of them married, actually, Dershowitz, I believe. Alan Dershowitz is from that, married that family. Yeah, we're cousins somewhat. I forgot exactly how. Talking about like America, 1915. Right. You're talking about really early days. So none of them, no beards, what beards? He had a beard, he got married, became a peddler. He had 5 children. One child stayed observant, stayed from. That was Maizedi. Maizedi stayed, he was Michlenar. Not one of his classmates at Shabbos. He kept his beard too, which is like, okay, you know, calm down. Beard, kept the beard. And that's just for the beard guys. That was the beard guys, Hineni. And kept Shabbos. So it's a really interesting story. So people told me, so you're going to write about that because, you know, there's many from people that shave. I'm like, oh, stop it.
You're missing the whole point, yeah.
Exactly, missing the whole point. Like, so it's a good story. It's a beautiful story. Put it this way, even if I didn't have a beard, I'll... No, so the point is, so, you know, he had a legacy, and I wrote about it because that's what the album was. It's called Hineni, and he stuck through it, and that was it. And it's a strong story.
Now, when you wrote this song, I mean, you have the pasuk from this week's parsha, obviously. The other two psukim, you automatically stepped in once you had the theme of the song, or did it come at a later time?
So he used to sing a nigga now, mama, mama, mama. He was very big in Stalin. He was very big in Stalin because he knew Nigunim, and Stalin was all that Nigunim. He was singing always there's a recording of him singing. So I thought, Avraham, and then my own tune came in. I just cracked. Darn it, after those two my vocals right there. That came afterwards, and then one on a came a little shocker.
I got to tell you, the arrangements, I still can't believe Jan arranged this song. It is so different from the stuff that you know him to do, but people keep saying that he's so diverse he can do anything. You know, the music and the trumpet, it's so haunting.
Okay, Ian is a good soul. It's a good soul. The Ian, what he did so well on this song is that he didn't get involved in it, which I like. I can't explain it. Mm-hmm. He didn't. Sometimes arrangers have to put in, they have to put something in that tells you that, hi, I just did the other song too, so make sure you know that I did this too.
Right.
Ian did such a beautiful job, so professional. And the soul of his arrangement here was he understood where to be with it, and he did a beautiful job. He's just great, and he didn't put in guitars, for example, because he didn't want to take away from the sound. He was a huge fan of the song, and he told me this song was going to be the biggest one. That's Ian's take. Now, that's Ian's take. I have my own take, but yeah.
Well, I can tell you, in this household, it is definitely a favorite right now. People are, me and my wife both loving it. There's something about it just reaches down and touches you. With us via telephone, the one and only Boruch Sholom Blesofsky, BSB, discussing his latest album, Hineni, right here, JE Network. Boruch Sholom, the one song that grabbed me on the first listen more than Avram was track 3. What is it about this track? What is it that just grabs you and says, holy cow, you feel like you just got punched in the face?
Okay, so there was a guy named Mr. Ari Haas that I was working with. Now, interestingly enough, Ari
also happens to be a composer, by the way.
Yes, yeah. Ari, exactly. So Ari is a I guess you could call him a dear fan friend because he knows me via music, but he really wanted to see me get back to the album, and he's been telling me about these lyrics. Now, funny enough, when I hear ideas about other songs from other people, that's when I don't want to do it. I don't like getting a suggestion. Please leave me alone. It's like, it's not the way I do it. When I search for the answer, I want to find it. Mm-hmm. Ari's been pushing me to these lyrics. Now, it happens to be like this. Why did he push me to these lyrics? Because Ari, Ari, if he hears this, he's going to say, oh, he's going to want to kill me. But Ari's good that way. Ari saw me as, he viewed my career as one that's like being beaten from every side. Mm-hmm. Like he saw you're a beaten artist, like you're going down to the floor. And these words is like Pogoim Sevavuni, everyone's surrounding me, Dachi Dichisani Limpo, Hashem won't let me fall. So he's like, come on, write a comeback song, we're gonna do it. And Ari, for example, Ari would tell me once, I told Ari, oh, that's great. And Ari said, oh, you see that face over there? That's what you need to have in your songs now. You gotta fight for your album. I was very into the fight of this album. So the song kind of came, that's not where I started it. I started the album when I was in the middle of doing construction. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking I was under stress because, whatever, abusive customers, it's all good. So I was doing so many preoccupied with so many different things, and I was singing, Lord, Lord, my Lord, oh, give me the strength, my Lord. Lord, Lord, my Lord, oh, give me the strength, my Lord.
Now, Baruch Shalom, we don't talk like Lord, we don't really use those words. Was this from an old Kalbach, kind of thing, or just the words?
Lord, get me high. Oh, well, so what happened was, okay, so the look, it's the other thing like this.
Okay.
I can't explain it. What happens, let's just say me and you have a conversation. I say, hi, Yossi, what's going on?
Baruch.
So then I say, Baruch Hashem. I say, very good, Baruch Hashem, back. It's a template. Then if you want to talk personal, if you want to get into if you want to talk to the Eibusher in a personal way, mm-hmm. You want to talk to the Eibusher in a personal way. So now someone's going to tell me, the translation, by the way, the English translation of not Elokeinu but Adonenu. Adonenu is Lord.
Right.
There's 4 levels of David saying Elokeinu, nothing like our God. Nothing like Elokeinu is our Lord. Kemalkeinu is our King. Kemashienu like our Redeemer. I was in the Lord place. I wasn't then in a Hashem place. I was in a Lord spot, and that's why there's 4 different terms.
Mm-hmm.
It's to connect. So people have to get off that because they have to realize they have to be personal. Yiddish has to be personal, not just everything else but the Eibishter. The Eibishter is personal too, and I talk to the Eibishter in English also. I have to talk. That's it.
They do say you should speak them in any language you want, and he's listening. So,
you have to daven also, and that's an obvious. So people say, of course you have to daven, and then you have to talk to the Eibishter also for real. You don't just tell your wife, the food's great.
Well, you do that too. You tell her the food's great, and then you take out the garbage. Yes.
Then you take out the garbage, exactly. Or you say, by the way, I really don't want to take out the garbage today. That's also a good thing. But you can't say that. They now have a real relationship. I should give marriage counseling, actually, maybe in the next 80 years. Maybe. If the career goes sour. I'm not kidding. Okay. What's up? Yossi? That's the idea. So it's real. It's real. That's it. It's very real for me. Mm-hmm. And I talk real. And
so you had the English. So you had the English part first.
Oh, yeah. So what happened was we went to Lipa Schmelzer then, and Lipa Schmelzer was like, I played him the song, and he's funny, he did not write it with me, just want to make it very clear.
Right.
So I'm going to hear people say, you helped me write the song, you didn't. But what he did do was he gave me chizuk to go ahead with it, because he got so excited, he was like very encouraged by the message, so he told me, go ahead, and like this is great, this is Kalbach, like an updated Kalbach version of Lord Get Me High, and by the way, I didn't ask the Lord to get me high. I just told him to give me the strength.
Yeah, I know. It's a difference.
Yes. I wasn't that demanding. So, and that's that. That's that.
Well, I got to tell you, Kaplar's fingerprints are all over this, and he's just amazing. Him and Jan together as a team, whether they're doing Yoni Z stuff or they're doing Benny Friedman stuff, Mordechai Shapiro stuff, their fingerprints on this song and the next one is like so pronounced as far as... like when I hear a ha 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 ha, I'm like, okay, that was Daniel. He loves putting in like these cat calls.
Hey, Yossi?
Really? I'm wrong?
Excuse me? I'm insulted. You don't think I came up with ha ha?
No, I don't think so.
Of course I came up with it. I did. All the ha ha ha. And he told me, Kaplar, cheesy.
Interesting. What about the huh and the who?
No. That was Kaplar, and you know who wanted to take that out? I wanted that out. That's the funny part. I wanted to take that out.
I know Kaplar's style. He usually has some kind of shout out or cat call or something like that in the song, and it always gives it a little bit more. But the two of them together definitely, gave you something more. Now, were you worried about having a song called Lord and how fans would react? Would it be positive or would they just get turned off or? Yossi. So, we didn't even get to the second part of the album yet. No.
Which turns into no one wants to talk about that because it's kind of like the first part of the album is like, it's like very big high and the other part is more introspective, which is a different story. Mm-hmm. But I have to be honest, okay? I have to be honest. And honest doesn't mean that you're not sneeze. It doesn't mean that you're immodest. Doesn't mean that. But I have to be honest. I'm an artist. I'm writing music. I am striving to be a very good Jew. So I have confidence that when I'm singing, I'm going to give it all I got. Mm-hmm. And Lord is what I wanted to say, and that's what it is. And not if people don't like it. If people don't like it, like, it doesn't even bother me because they're not even opposing me. They're right. If you don't like it, good. And it doesn't work for you. Don't listen. Right. There's something wrong with it. And maybe, I don't know. I'll put it this way. I'm not embarrassed by this song at all.
It was just a question, my friend. Sometimes people have to consider
hit a sensitive subject. No, I'm kidding around. I was going to name the album Lord, by the way.
And that would have been great for iTunes because there's a female artist in the secular market called Lord, but that she's spelled differently. But maybe you'd get people to buy your album while looking for her album.
Exactly. Maybe I'll get some iTunes purchases, a little bit more from the
Now, I got a message here. I got a message here from I Am a Tzaddik on Twitter. I had the same question. You have a PDF book that you supplied me with, and we're looking at the lyrics. Track 4, Yishoma. You got some lyrics that are not in the book, my friend, and I want to know what in the world you're saying.
Oh, you're on track 4. Track 4 is off. That's a good track. That's a good track. Should I start from the beginning?
I got the Chassan flying high, Kala by his side. Then I got the Rei Mahuv. Fine. What a beautiful sight. Olam is rolling. They begin dancing. What goes on after that?
No. Okay. What a beautiful time. And the Olam is rolling. The beginning and
Yeah.
I got it right. I don't know.
What does that mean? What language is that? What are you saying?
Okay, so he was about to. Okay, so when I was making the initial demonstration of this song, a little bit similar to the Ribon approach,
right.
A little bit different story of how it came about. But I took the beat home. It was a bass line, and I took it home, and I started done. But the thing is, I had a tune originally. So it's not like I made a tune based on that. I had a tune that actually worked with that we kind of merged with it. So the, what was it? I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it was supposed to be good. I came home and I said, what a beautiful sight. And I went to the studio and I said, I was rolling, give me dancing, okay, fine. So Ian says, what are you going to do now? It doesn't stop. This is just kind of like the question. So now what's, this is Chassan, Kala. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say. I got to feel right. I don't know what I said over there. I was just trying to say something.
So even you don't know what you wrote?
Oh, I don't know what I wrote. I have no clue what I wrote. So he wanted to delete it. When it came to the main vocal session, he said, we're deleting this part. Is he kidding me? Leaving it right in. The best lyrics I could have came up with.
Right.
So by the second round, we were more conscious of it. So the second round, I did it with more chutzpah.
Yeah, I see. I missed it again. Chatan kala muzika. I got that.
I don't know what that is either, because it also came up on the spot. But it was more like we're just gonna force something out here. I don't know.
No, I dig it. The second time around, it's very. I want to say Matisyahu-esque from the original Matisyahu style, But I have no idea what you're saying. I just want to know what the words were.
Okay, I used to do that with my kids until my daughter, she used to go to the school, and she started, telling, the teachers when she was, 3, she was, going to the teachers, what is she saying? So I have to stop that. I used to do that a lot. I can make up a language. I could seriously have a whole interview with you about a completely weird language, but we're not going to do that now.
No, we're not
yet.
No.
We're going to do that after I secure, the third, fourth album. We got a full interview in a weird language.
Well, technically, this is your third album. You did have you had the Yishoma dance album. Don't forget about that one.
That's true.
That's true. So this is also Kaplar. So Kaplar came in from Israel for this album. I'm surprised. I thought he works everything in Israel.
Well, yeah. So Goan Dasham praying some Kuntel. Now getting around. The Kaplar came in. He was in the middle of getting married. I think he finally got married, and he was getting a visa. Yeah, he was getting a visa. It's pretty boring details. So he came in, and I said to Ian, "Okay, great. We're doing all 4 songs within a week versus people that." It takes them a week to record vocals. Mm-hmm. I ran into the studio at 8:30, and I used to come late every time. 7 o'clock was booked. I came at 8:30. He was so good about it, and I was out within an hour and a half.
Wow!
I used to run over to the microphone, press record. That's all I need right now, and I'm just gonna sing and don't stop. Just go. Let's go for this thing. Whatever's coming out, we're going to do this thing. And that's how it went. And that's why it has a very high energy. Because it wasn't condensed. And not only that, it's very natural. It's much more natural. It's
it wasn't you sound. Coming in and being punched. Okay, we're going to punch in here. We're going to punch in here. No, you did the whole song. A bunch of times, one after another, and whatever they patched, they patched.
They patched it. No, of course no. When we walk in the studio, if it's a very nice, okay, now Daniel, next, not another take, let's go. So not another take. No, another take, let's go for 1, 2, 3, go. And what a beautiful sight. Okay, let's go from what a beautiful sight. Daniel will stop it. Not really impressed. Okay, what a beautiful sight. So now you have about 2 minutes taken up, and then it's going, and we just go, boom, 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 and then it's done. That's it.
Now, there are those that I saw were commenting that they don't feel the vocals on Yishoma specifically were top-notch vocals, but I believe that was the whole part of the song. It wasn't like a serious song where it had to be spot on, and I think that I actually think that you worked very hard on the vocals on that song to get them to sound the way they did, because Daniel wanted a certain sound, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, okay. So say that again. Okay. So, okay, my vocals weren't top notch. Well, okay, in general. So here's the thing with vocals. Okay, vocals is a very tough. How do you put it? They weren't top notch. If I'd go back into the studio, I would kill the song. And what I'm trying to do on an album is push songs. I'm not here to make it about my voice. I got to do that for concerts. I got to deliver very well vocally. For my album, it's good enough. Whatever happens, happens, and it sounds fine. And it would be like kind of. I mean, maybe I would. Honestly, maybe we would do it over. If I was like in a secular record, I would maybe do it over. But I don't think so. I just don't. I don't know.
Well, what are you doing for yourself vocally to get better? If I can go that way.
Oh, whoa, that's a personal question. Okay,
yeah.
So here's the interesting thing.
Because, I would put you in the singer-songwriter, and everyone calls you composer. I put you in singer-songwriter because that's what you are. You're not a composer. You're not like people are coming to you, give me this. You're not. If you compose something, like even when you compose for Levi Falkowitz, it wasn't like, he's like, give me something generic. No, you don't work like that.
Right.
But if you want to be out there on the bandstand and doing concerts, then obviously you have to do something to pick yourself up a little bit, to give you a little bit more of an edge.
Whoa. Guys, you hear this? Yossi's asking me a personal question. I don't mind answering it. Okay, so I'll tell you the thing. First thing's like this. Okay, so there's two things. There's concerts and weddings, okay? So weddings, 1,000%. You have to be so vocally trained, and I'm working on that heavily now on it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be really, really in top shape. So it takes a lot of work. And I put in about 2 hours a day vocally now.
Mm-hmm.
I used to not do that. So 2 hours a day vocally. Not only that, you have to also, I was training for a while. I was being trained as a lyric tenor. And frankly, there was a lot of wrong approaches, I think, within that as well. I think so. Even though my trainer was very, very good, I just think that there was something up with that approach that wasn't working for me. If you notice, this album has a higher energy vocally. You notice that?
I definitely did, 100%.
Okay, so why is that? And the answer is because when I was singing lyrically in a lyric tenor, and by the way, I was pretty well vocal trained in my first album. The reason why I wasn't bringing energy out.
This was a question I was asked on Twitter time and time again, and this is just a question I feel we should address, because I'm guessing on the first album that Yidel made you do things again and again and again and again 1,000 times until he was happy with the vocal performance, while this album I felt you were a little bit, I guess the word would be, looser with than the first album.
Yeah, it was raw. It's raw.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Raw is good. You're getting the real feel of the singer, the vocalist.
I think so too. I mean, I think for live concerts you got to be in top shape, and the thing is like this. I want to bring this album's energy, and I want to bring the music to the next stage, also on stage, and I want to take it to the next level on stage too. Mm-hmm. That's my next plan. That's what I have my eyes on, because I actually, I'm a pretty good performer. Performing is a very tough thing to do also. You have to be very non-self-conscious to perform well. And I can't be self-conscious and do well. So I have to get on stage and be very in shape and all those type of things. This is the real deal.
No, I understand. So, I mean, I saw videos of you by the Cholon thing you had last Thursday night. There was a video of you and a guitar doing one of the songs. And I've never seen you perform, let alone with a guitar, and it sounded good. And then there was that other clip of you at a wedding doing like Yishoma. That I didn't enjoy so much, because what happened was they sped up the beat for me, and I wanted that original beat. I want that slower beat kind of thing.
100%. So I mean, thank God the performances. I mean, it's funny discussing performances like in a public forum, but you know what I'm saying? Who cares? Performances on the first album, after the first album came out, I just wasn't up to par with my album.
Mm-hmm.
This one thing, Baruch Hashem, we're there. We're getting there. And it's you know what it is? It's about really letting loose and just being yourself on stage. And Baruch Hashem, I have the clarity for that, because it demands clarity. demands clarity. You need clarity for it.
No, it does.
Really.
And you have to know who you are and what your message is and what you're doing. And I believe that the fans definitely saw that. Baruch Sholom Blesofsky with us via telephone discussing his latest album, Hineni. Baruch, we're definitely running out of time, so let's get right to it. V'zoicher. This I've already seen several guitarists perform that. This is, I know it's funny because I know you composed a song on the album with Mordechai Ben David. Funny thing is, a lot of people think it's this one, but it's not.
No, it's not.
And it's cute because it's definitely, we see your influences of who you grew up with on this album, and what type of music.
Right. So now, and this is, you know what I think we should do? I think we should do an extended radio interview because there's the whole story about the second part of the album. Mm. But I'll begin like this. After 4 of the songs, I had a business that went topsy-turvy. Mm. So I got preoccupied with that. And there was a new kufa after that. Now, the thing is, once I'm done with one, I can't go back to the older set. I wasn't going back to Eon. Not that I'm not going to go back to Eon for the next album, but for that thing, I just couldn't go there. Mm-hmm. I was local. I was in Brooklyn. So I decided like this. I decided that this one I met Platinum Productions.
So who is Platinum Productions?
His name is Ben Mayer.
Okay.
He's involved in the A-Team Orchestra. Mm-hmm. And we actually developed a genuine friendship besides for music. I mean to say, it wasn't within music kind of introduced us, but we became friends on a separate note. Mm-hmm. Ben has first of all, he's musical. He has a good understanding of people, of management. He's a very good manager in general in the business world. He's a good manager, and he knows how to putting out an album, taking it to the next level. Let's complete it. Let's take it. Let's put it out. Let's make sure that we're up to par, with what has to get done. And people, I never thought that I would be that lucky to get this type of person on my team, because what happened was Ben gave it a clarity. He gave the CD it's hard to explain. It's really a conversation for itself. But the was kind of, I walked into the studio, tell me your graph, give me a mic, set up a 1960s mic, I'm playing piano, professional. Eon thought I'm making a demo. I'm making a demo. Give me a piano. This is what's going on right now. This is what's going on with the CD, and we're putting it out like this. And this is who I am. This is me. Give me the piano. I'm not at Eon Place right now. I'm not over there. And it was embracing kind of where the situation was. So a lot of the CD people are going to say, why isn't the arrangement like that one? Why is it not like that one? Because it was real. Whatever you hear on the CD is absolutely real. Mm-hmm. I wasn't going to fake it artificially. I wasn't just trying to recreate something or readapt. I was living this album. This album was literally, it represents, I would say, every month in the past 10 months. That's what the CD is. Wow. So Haidu is one thing, and every song is that. So that's what V'zeicha was. And a lot of people are very connected to it.
Yeah.
They're very connected. Because it has its message. It's not maybe the fatty message, but it's a very deep message. Yes. That's it.
And ditto for Haidu. When I first heard the song, I was like, wow, something about, and then I was like, but, why didn't Daniel and Jan do it? And then I was like, well, it didn't need that. It needed something else to give us a different flavor at this point. Maybe I don't want too much of the same kind of candy, so to speak. Halloween's coming up. Everybody eats candy, and it just turns into one sugar ball. Eating too many good things. Over here, you need something to mix it up.
To be honest with you, you really want to know what it was?
What?
It actually wasn't that.
It wasn't that?
It was actually, it wasn't that. I'm glad it came. I'm glad it is that way. But the reason why it was variety, the reason why it carries variety is because, again, I was very busy in business. Very busy. Then occupied with some junk that was going on. And I was occupied. I was drowning in it. I was literally drowning in this business. My head was fully occupied. And Burkle gives me a call and says, "No, when are you coming to me for an arrangement?" And I said, "I'm right now at Crown Heights. I'm coming over." "Yeah, okay, good. Hi, what's going on?" I don't really know Avrami that well. Avrami's a good man. Avrami heard Avram once at a show. I don't have that song. What song do you have? Well, I've been davening lately, and a tune came into my head, and it goes, "V'du Hashem Yirvishmai, V'du Vav Imad Eloiso, Shira Loi Zam Eloi, Esichu V'chol Nidoi So, Sallu v'sei gotzoi, Yismach lebe v'achni Hashem. Sallu v'sei gotzoi, Yismach lebe v'achni Hashem. And that was it. That was it. And the day of my son's bris, I made, V'yisrachu migoyel go, U'mimamlocho elam rachet, U'mimamlocho elam rachet, U'mimamlocho elam rachet. So, Avrami did it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I see sometimes the words come before the niggin, and sometimes the niggin comes before the words. I always thought you were the words first kind of guy.
No, it comes together. If it's a good tune, it usually comes like the development of the same. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Sholom with us via telephone discussing his latest album, his second album. Well, third if you're counting the Yishoma dance. V'anachnu, track 7, composed by BSB and MBD. Now, Baruch, was this composed back when you were working with Yidel on the first album, or this was a chance meeting sometime in between?
That is correct. Yes, it was. It was like in this in between pocket. That was one day. I don't know. I was trying to write a song for him. I was in Seagate in the basement, and I had this song. But I had a bunch of different songs. I was playing them for him, for Mordechai, and it was like kind of like Mordechai walks around. I mean, he's doing this thing. He's in his house. Yul does this thing. He's in his father's house. Like everyone's just doing that thing, and I'm at the piano playing, and I say, "This was my original thing. MBD knows. MBD says, and MBD literally walks into the room and he does, he finished it. That was.
And you're like, yes.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, MVD wrote a song with me. Oh my God, so cool. Yeah, I said that. That's what I said.
That's amazing. So that is track 7, V'anachnu Le'neda, arranged by Sholom Lieberman and Robbie Halpern. I don't even know who are these guys.
Oh my God, Sholom Lieberman is the dear friend. Sholom is he made the arrangements to Change. He was involved heavily in the arrangements of Celebrate from 8th Day.
Mm-hmm.
He's involved in the other one. What's it called? Come on, there's a good song that they have over there. It's a second song on the Celebrate album.
Who, 8th Day?
You know what it is?
Sorry.
Oh, Bounce, yes. Bounce, jump, don't stay on the ground. Bounce, jump, don't stay on. So yes, I sent show him this arrangement, and he sends me back something. Oh my God, it was eccentric, like no one's business. And I said, "This is it. This is the tune, and that's it." And I gave it like I know my voice kind of opened up on it. It was an interesting idea.
Today I'm not exactly who I want.
I want, but today I've got to give it all I've got. I woke up this morning, felt so old.
It's a very bluesy song. I'm very curious as what was going on with your business at this point.
But it wasn't about business. Not everything's about money. I'm not that money center.
No, but you always say you're busy with business and you're doing this. And
but business is life.
Why is it called, Boruch Sholom, why is it the vicious cycle? Why is it the vicious cycle? But life isn't vicious.
The vicious cycle goes once again. Well, sometimes people have vicious cycles if they're in the vicious cycle.
Sometimes
when I'm in the rain and it's, I don't know, it just ends up saying. But okay.
So that has changed. You wrote here, Sholom Lieberman brings out really fresh sounds to my music from A Good Avach. Oh, he was involved in A Good Avach? Wow. To the beginning stages of a Yossi.
Oh, yeah, he made that. That's all.
Got it. That's very cool. So, Baruch, talk to me a second. I've been talking to a lot of people in a lot of music groups. Many of them are loving your album. But a lot of them are like, why 10 tracks? And it seems that 2 or 3 tracks were released prior. So, like, why didn't Boruch Sholom do 12 tracks if he's giving us 3 old songs? What do you have to say to those people, Boruch Sholom?
Okay, so I'll say like this, and this is I got this answer from a producer, Mr. Platinum Productions, Mr. Ben from Platinum. Here's what he says: if you go to the store and you get like a case of like cheaper wine, you'll get like 15 in it. you get better wine. You're getting fewer. I put a lot of energy into this album. There wasn't another song going on. People could say it's about budget, and it's nothing to do. I closed the chapter. When I close the chapter, I close it. I wanted to put out an EP, only an EP. But there was more to write. I had more to say, so I made it more. But at 10, I was done. If it was up to me, next album, I'll stop at 3. I should have put out maybe Ribon, one album. That's 2 weeks later, put out another album. I just can't do that. So I have to know when to kind of say, this is over. I don't think anybody... I think people can complain about the numbers, but it's just weird. If you like the music... it's weird. It's okay, but just... It's like... How do I explain it?
Music isn't like it used to be. You do know it is. Music is fairly expensive. It's not cheap like it used to be.
Well, yes, so very good. So first of all, that's A. But B, let them. I don't put in fillers. I don't know. I just don't do that stuff. Like I do songs that are real. I'm not here to go to 3 songs and just bop them out of nothing and just not connect with it. I don't do things that way. So I'm not putting out 13, 14 track CDs. I'm not there. I'm not. Maybe next one. I'll put out a 25 tracker. Maybe if I have some crazy writing.
The Lost album from Boruch Sholom.
The Lost album.
Years 1 through 18. Yes.
1 through 18. Exactly. There was other songs that were supposed to actually go on, and next.
So Baruch Sholom, when are we going to see some music videos from you? That's I think the number one question people are asking. You didn't do any of the first album. Now it's the second album. You're more mature. You have a different sound. Are we going to see a video coming out of Boruch Sholom Blesofsky? Okay, so
here's the thing. I don't know yet. I'm working on it. I'm davening for it. But it's going to have to come up some way because I'm not. Last thing I'm going to do is I am not throwing $25K at a music video. I just can't do that.
I don't think anybody said you have to spend $25K.
And I don't want to throw 10 either. I'm just not into that. I'm just very, very not into it. I'm a sound guy. I make music. Now, if I could find an expression within the video, I'm going to absolutely do it. But I have to find an expression. I can't just do something that is completely generic. It just doesn't work for me. Doesn't work for me. I don't like doing that. So I know I've learned my lesson. I've always said, stop it. Just do it. Just do something. No, it doesn't work that way. That's an Yishoma dance. That's the just do it. And I'm not doing that again.
Okay.
Just do it, yes.
Well, I believe you answered all of our questions. Baruch Sholom Shkoyach, thank you very much. We went way over time. I got to get to the song Hineni, or the show's technically over at this point. So, Hatzlacha Rabbah, very excited. New album is available through Niggin Music, correct?
Absolutely.
It's available on iTunes, Amazon Music, Google Play, and if you're cheapo...
Google Play, no Amazon.
No Amazon. Why not?
Because it's free for streaming, and distributors want their...
How about... Is it on Spotify?
You can download on iTunes, mostly Niggin, and what's the other one?
I don't know. Platinum
and
Records.
Local stores. Buy your CD so you can never listen to it because you don't have a CD player.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Baruch Sholom, thank you very much. Have an amazing day.
All the bestest.
Hatzlacha Rabbah. Take care.